What if the greatest human advancements were not built with steel and fire, but with the profound power of silence? Beneath the neon pulse of the modern metropolis, a hidden biological script awaits those who finally learn to breathe through the noise. They call it productivity, but the bioarchive reveals it is a metabolic hallucination. We are trapped in a cycle of depletion. The warm glow of our screens masks the cold reality of a life being lived in a constant state of emergency. Your biology is being harvested for data, but the architect has found a frequency that bypasses the modern grid, returning power to the source. While the metropolis burns with noise, the sovereign sits in deep coherence, reclaiming the inherent right to exist in peace. We return to the cradle of the Nile, to ancient Sudanese scriptoriums where time itself was mastered through the breath. Sovereignty rediscovered. Hidden beneath the desert sands is a record of a different human architecture, a vault of biological blueprints long forgotten by the modern world. This is the entrance to the bioarchive, where the secrets of the vagus nerve are etched in stone and glowing light. This portal is a bridge across 1,000 years, connecting the lost masters of the Nile to the architects of the future. As the camera enters the cool, cyan depths of the vault, we leave the heat of the scramble behind and enter the silence. It is the architectural blueprint for human stillness, a living laboratory of the soul where every holographic scroll contains a clinical secret. Here, the ancient practitioners mapped the intersection of light and nerves, proving that the body is a temple designed for absolute focus. They engineered a protocol to lock the nervous system into a state of peak power, bypassing the ancient fear response that drives the scramble. This glowing bridge of light is the vagus nerve, the biological superhighway that connects our physical heart to the logic of the mind. They called it the Vagal Lock, the ultimate break against the entropy of the metropolis. When the heart beats at 40 pulses per minute, it creates a rhythmic sanctuary where the soul can finally finish its work without the constant interference of a dying civilization. We call it productivity, but they called it a systemic biological error that drains the battery of human life. By performing a clinical audit of our own internal states, we can finally stop the harvest of our energy and begin the process of structural reconstruction. We are haunted by the ghost of status, an orange-tinted hallucination of a self that only exists in the eyes of others. This utility self is a hollow skeleton, designed to be harvested for profit until there is nothing left but the gray noise of exhaustion. We move from city to city, searching for a peace that the metropolis can never provide. From Riyadh to Toronto, the noise follows us inside our own nervous systems until we learn the ancient protocol that silences the internal storm. Your brain is a vast neural forest, but the scramble has allowed the weeds of anxiety to choke the light of focus. By engineering the silence, we can prune away the noise and allow the flowers of deep coherence to bloom once again within our minds. Whether it is 50 degrees in the desert or 20 below in the north, the protocol of the sovereign remains unshakable. The external environment is irrelevant when you have mastered the internal architecture of your own biological temple, turning every climate into a sanctuary of power. The scramble thinks the void is empty, but the modern monk knows it is the only place where true creation occurs. Inside the black hole of stillness, we find a high-tech scriptorium where the blueprints of the next century are being written in the language of light. A heart that beats at 40 pulses per minute is a heart that has mastered the clock of the empire. At this frequency, the biological decay of stress is halted, and the body becomes a precision instrument capable of navigating the deepest layers of reality. Every notification is a micro-harvest of your dopamine, a metabolic tax that you didn't agree to pay. To reclaim your sovereignty, you must cut the orange cables of the digital grid and return to the deep blue well of your own internal energy reserves. You do not need a mountain to find peace. You only need to engineer a 1-meter radius of absolute stillness. In the middle of a crowded subway, the modern monk can build a holographic monastery that protects the soul from the chaos of the world. By the year 2050, the digital grid will have consumed the physical world, leaving no private space for the human spirit. The only sanctuary remaining will be the one you have built inside your own breath, a secret scriptorium that the algorithm can never track. The ancient masters didn't use words, they used frequencies of light and sound that the grid cannot decode. By speaking the language of zero friction, we can move mountains of internal resistance and create a life that flows with the effortless logic of nature. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It is the frequency of stillness you engineer for those who have not yet been born. This is the 100-year handshake, a pact between the ancient masters and the modern sovereign. To keep the flame of human focus alive, to reclaim your capital, you must enter the scriptorium of the heart, where the blueprints of your life are kept. Here, the noise of the metropolis fades into the background, and the true voice of the architect can finally be heard above the static. The first step is to reclaim your own biological tempo through the protocol of the rhythmic breath. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds and feel the orange noise of the scramble begin to fade into a cool blue mist of potential and power. Hold that breath for 4 seconds and feel the sovereignty of the monk locking into your very blood. In this moment of absolute stillness, your cells are being reprogrammed for longevity, and your nervous system is finally returning to its state of natural power. Exhale slowly for 4 seconds and release the friction of the metropolis, letting the stress of 1,000 notifications evaporate. As the tension leaves your body, you are no longer a utility to be harvested, but a creator ready to author a new world. You cannot conquer a man who has mastered his own internal entropy, for he is a soldier of stillness. When the world tries to capture your attention, you will simply offer them the silence of a mind that has already chosen its own final destination. We build this monastery for our children so they may never know the gray noise of the Austin anxiety. By passing on the key to the bioarchive, we ensure that the next generation of architects will stand on a foundation of absolute, unshakable peace. The gateway to the archive is not a door made of wood, but a frequency made of light and intention. Step forward into the radiance of your own biological mastery and leave the shadows of the utility self behind as you enter the seat of power. The scramble is loudest just before the final stillness takes hold of your spirit. Anchor in the silence, author your own future, and step into the scriptorium of the heart. The bioarchive is open, and the architecture of your life is finally in your hands. The bioarchive is no longer a distant myth or a hidden vault beneath the sands. The frequency of stillness has been encoded into a physical blueprint, a 5-part series designed to guide you through the architecture of your own internal sanctuary and sovereign life. From the deconstruction of the utility self to the final mastery of the Vagal Lock, this series is your clinical map for the 100-year handshake. Each volume is a stone in your monastery. Available now on Amazon KDP for those ready to author their future. Do not just watch the story, become the architect of it. Search for The Modern Monk Pathway on Amazon today and begin your journey into the bioarchive. Your sanctuary is waiting for your signature. Anchor in the stillness, author the future, and stay sovereign.